Great. Awesome to have you on this morning. Very cool.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you had such epic results. Like, how could I not?
True, true. Yeah, it's been quite a crazy 16 weeks, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew your results. I'd seen you. I've been watching you throughout them, and yet when I have a look at the photos of when you started, my mind just can't even believe that that's where you were. It's an amazing transformation.
It blows my mind as well because I thought I was actually doing okay nutritionally. Exercise wise, I didn't think I was in bad shape. But when you compare the two, there's a huge
A
difference,
massive
right?
difference,
A
absolutely.
massive,
A huge
yeah.
difference. Yeah, it's like a completely polar opposite of where you were before compared to where you are now. So, Brett, I've just given a bit of a brief introduction of who you are to me, one of my very good friends, but also a personal trainer, and you've been in the fitness industry for quite some time. So, do you want to give us a bit of a background there on where you've come from, so that we know?
Sure. So I have been working as a personal trainer now for 14 years, and I've been training in gyms since I was 18. I'm now 42, so 24 years of pretty consistent 3, 4, 5 times a week gym training for the last 24 years.
Mm.
So it's been a long time around the gym and the fitness industry.
Yeah, so you would have seen a lot in your time as well.
I have seen
Yeah.
a lot of things come and go, and yeah, have seen a lot.
Mm. So Brett, from it's been 16 weeks, right, on the dot. It's been 16 weeks on the dot since you started using the Isagenix products. I remember bowling into your house. Well, 16, 17, must have been 4.5 months ago. Just
Yep.
on fire. And so how long so you've been using that for 4 months. What have your results been? I think that's actually a dumb question now that I think about it, because we can see what your results have been. But from a PT perspective, and maybe even from a friend perspective, what were you thinking when I was sharing these products with you, just for the sheer fact that you've been in the industry for so long?
Okay, so I was, and we hear this a lot, right? I was really skeptical because I have been in the industry, and there is a lot of products that come and go, and they do promise great things, better energy, better sleep, da 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 da. So I was very skeptical, but at the time there was a lot of stress going on in my life, and my energy was not good at all. So as part of being skeptical, there was also a part of my mind that was very open, going, "Wow, I need what it has as far as energy goes," because you were just bouncing off the walls, and at the time, I was propped up on coffee and not doing very well from an energy perspective at all.
Mm, yeah. And so actually that was a really great way to put it. Part of you was skeptical, but part of you needed it. And when I think back on it, that's exactly where I was. I must have been approached by people telling me about Isagenix 5 to 7 times at least. But I was open to it at a time where I really needed it. So I get that. Look, a lot of people
Mm.
think that Isagenix is unsustainable. There's a lot of uh, the the thought can be, and this is a thought that I had, like doing a shake diet for a start is, I'm not a huge fan. I was a huge whole foods, real food fan, which is why I wasn't open to it for so long. And the fact that that is the case and people do get such fantastic results, how sustainable is it, is two common questions that I have. So what's your take on that?
I was similar kind of mindset to you. So when a client would come to me and they would talk about a supplement or something that they were going to use, I kind of just talk them back about, right, we need to sort your nutrition first. We need to make sure your food is right first. So the little bits I'd heard about Isagen, I didn't really understand what it was. I thought it was more of a supplement range. I didn't really understand that it was just basically food, but really, really, really nutritious food. So in terms of sustainability, I've incorporated this into my life with massive amounts of ease. It's just so simple for me now. Just, if I'm pushed for time in the morning, I'll have a shake instead of my normal breakfast and feel great from that. So for me, it's made nutrition so much easier and actually cheaper as well. Um, to be eating organic, good quality food is actually really expensive to do.
Mm.
So this made it much easier. It's more time efficient, and it's actually saved me money. My grocery bill is a fraction on what it used to be now.
Yeah, and I found the exact same thing. So, what would you say has been the biggest difference using these products has brought into your life?
Okay, so there's kind of two. There's obviously, I've lost some body fat, but the big one which people talk about, and I really didn't understand it until I've experienced it, was the energy, the really good energy, and the very clear mental clarity that goes along with that. Uh, about day 3 using the products, my energy was just out of this world, like going from having 3, 4 coffees to not needing coffee. So the big shift for me was the energy that I got. The
Mm.
weight loss is awesome, but having more energy and feeling energized and not feeling tired all the time was huge for me, absolutely huge.
Especially being that you were a new dad at that time, right? You and Jazz had just had a baby, what, 6 months, 5 or 6 months
Uh,
prior?
it was about 4 months in, yeah, we'd had a wee baby girl, Evie, so
Mm.
yeah, four
Yeah,
months.
and I remember you guys were going through that teething stage, and I mean, it wasn't long after before Jazz hopped on the products as well. And what were the words that she used to describe how she felt?
She said after about day 2 or day 3, I feel like a fog has lifted and I'm on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, I mean, we know how good you felt. We know how simple it's been to incorporate into your life. And we know that energy was the most valuable thing that it was able to provide, especially for where you were at the time where you were so severely lacking in energy. So, when when we see all those benefits, what would you say what has been the greatest challenge?
Probably my perceived greatest challenge would be just how I'm going to afford using this. But I actually did a calculation and looked at what I was spending on coffees and other snacks and bits and pieces, and worked out I'm actually spending less now than what I was. So my perceived challenge was, how am I going to afford this from a financial perspective to
Right.
keep going? When I actually did the sums, I'm actually spending less now than what I was on food. And food, as you can see in the before photo, wasn't giving me the results that I've got now. So I
Right.
was spending money on food, but wasn't getting lean with this ease that I am now.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but that's awesome. That's freaking cool because there is this perception that being healthy is expensive. There's
Right.
like and we know that the cleaner that we can eat and the higher the quality of nutrition that we can get. I mean, in reality, it's not affordable for the average family to eat organic. So, yeah. So I'm pleased that that was your challenge, and that in the same breath, it's one that you actually took the time to compare and really see that it was only a perceived challenge and not actually one. So that's wicked. So, Brett, you must have, I mean, 24 years you've been training, so you must have tried other things before to lose body fat and to gain lean mass. I mean, look at your results. You've really achieved both. Not everyone uses Isagenix, guys, to just lose body fat. A lot of people use Isagenix to gain weight, to gain lean muscle. So you must have used other things, Brett. How do you compare what you've used in the past to the Isagenix products?
I've used heaps of different supplements over the 24 years of training, but what I found the last 16 weeks was this is without a doubt the easiest way I've ever got lean. Like in the past, I've had to just basically keep cutting calories, adding more cardio. And by the time I got to this level of body fat, I was just exhausted. My attention span was about this big. I was grumpy, not in a good place. And because, you're cutting calories from a diet that's already not bountiful with nutrients, so you end up just in a really bad place. Whereas, I mean, the day of the photographs from my 16-week challenge, I was still having toast with eggs on it for breakfast. I'm still eating bread, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And I would have
and that's
normally
unheard of.
Yeah, I would have cut
that's
that
unheard
out.
of when you're sitting that lean.
Yeah, I would have cut
Yeah.
that out months ago.
Yeah.
So this is easy peasy. And, people are probably looking at this and going, it's hard. Take it from someone who has been doing lots of different foods, macro splits for 24 years. This is by far the easiest way I've ever found to get lean. Just the combination of the shakes, the cleanse days. It's just allowing your body to do what your body's been trying to do, but hasn't been able to do with food.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So, Brett, actually, it just triggered a thought. You've been using the performance range as well. So, Isagenix has a great performance range. How would you describe the difference in your performance and in your recovery since?
So, the big thing I've noticed was, I work as a trainer, obviously, and I've got a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there to kind of slot in my training. What I've found now is I generally run out of time before I run out of energy, which was the other way around. I would end up knackered and just exhausted before I ran out of time. Now I'm, an hour and a half in the gym. I was like, oh, shoot, I better go home, have a shower, have some food. But my energy is still on point. I can still be doing more, which polar opposites on what it would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Stage of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, you get the endorphins and you get the awesome buzz from training. When you are physical, when you are exercising, you do feel great. But I can totally testament to that at the end of the day. So post training, when you've had a hard session and you've been training all week, and you get to the end of the day and you're still good and your mood is still good. It's a true testament to how well the body is actually recovering. So. Cool.
So prior, I would have a good workout. 2 hours later, in my gap, I'd have a nap.
Yeah.
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 I'd be asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
My dog. And then it would be a coffee to try and pick my energy levels up to head back to work.
To keep going. Yeah. Which is a recipe for losing muscle. I mean, that's a clear symptom of stress levels and stress hormones being too high, which is the very thing that you want to keep down when you want to recover, perform, gain muscle. That's exactly it. And so it's a real testament to how well the body is doing with recovery to be able to get that kind of performance. So, Brett, just as we kind of wrap up, what would you say are your favorite products? Maybe 1 to 2.
Probably the shakes would be number 1, just because it's so convenient with my lifestyle, because I have gaps here and there, so it's just really easy to shoot home, grab a shake. And probably number 2 would be Isagenix, just for helping deal with stress on a day-to-day basis.
Cool. So the Isagenix is a particular, that's my favorite product as well. It's a particular product there that is designed to help your body deal with stress. So and energy and stress management has been your biggest gain, so totally makes sense. Brett, when you were sitting on the fence 16 weeks ago and you didn't know whether to give this a go or not, what did you say to yourself?
My financial position at the time, I didn't kind of have the money to spend, but I thought, at the end of the day, what have I got to lose? The company offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if I kind of didn't get this energy that you had, I can just send things back. So at the end of the day, what have I got to lose? Really nothing. I've got a bit of an upfront cost, but if I don't get the results I want, I can send it back. So that was the thing that kind of sold me. There was no risk other than a little bit of upfront cost.
Right. And it's empty bottle policy. So you could have had free food for a month, and then if it still didn't work, you send it back. Okay. What would you say to others who are sitting on the fence? You know, we're in spring, we're coming into December. I know that people are thinking about what they're going to do to try and get into some kind of shape as it gets warmer. What would you say to people who are sitting on the fence?
Just give it a go, for the simple reason you don't have anything to lose. And, you know, the amount of testimonials before and afters, there's so much evidence out there that this works, and it works really, really well. You just give it a go, man. I won't stop using these products because the energy, how I'm feeling, the ability to stay lean, just it's too easy. So nothing to lose. Just give it a go.
Guys, oh, I mean, how could you not? This is the reason that I felt really inspired to do these Facebook Lives, to get real people who are getting real results. I mean, I was sitting where you were. Brett was sitting where you were, and we were wondering whether this was for real. And it's one of those things, Brett, you've said this to me before, where you hear people talking about the energy. You hear people about who are getting results, but you just don't know until you put it in your body, and your body will tell you. So on that note, Brett, thanks for your time today. Thanks for sharing your story. You've had a phenomenal transformation, and I'm pretty confident that you're going to win the Isabody Challenge. So big ups to the commitment and the effort that you put in there. And I look forward to seeing you at the gym on Friday. And to the rest of you, any questions, let me know. Let me know who else you would like to hear from. So we had a request for muscle gain and for weight gain, and so that's why we brought on Brett. Who else do you want to hear from? What age group of person do you want to hear from? Because there are a ton of people I know who've had phenomenal results who would love to share their story. So on that note, have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.